BYU Sports Nation. Brought to you by the BYU Store. Simulcast on BYU TV and BYU Radio. Now, from Studio B, here's Spencer Linton and Jarom Jordan.
BYU Sports Nation is live, your day-to-day play-by-play in Studio B, presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere. It is Monday, June 20th, Juneteenth. Hope you're enjoying this now nationally observed holiday. This is a new thing and a good thing, wherever and however you're connected. Great to have you with us. I'm Spencer Linton, alongside a man who spent his weekend painting gnomes, Jarom Jordan.
So at Blue Blood Artist, who Aaron Taylor, BYU guy, he does like cartoons. He's awesome. He draws them. So we painted gnomes for Father's Day. I named mine Tom Nomo. No, Bo, that's a great one.
That's fantastic.
That's a good one. No relation to Hideo Nomo that we know of. But, that's awesome.
That's outstanding. I would put Tom Nomo in my front garden area. I would do that.
I don't have what's called a garden, but yeah, I'd put it out there. He'd just be a gnome. He wouldn't be a garden gnome.
I don't know. For whatever reason, I feel like if you have like a collection of gnomes, you need like this elaborate entry and walkway into your home.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Like a bench and, all this foliage.
No, too much. Nope. Nope.
Or you can just put Tom Nomo on your doorstep, whatever.
I want a Hideo Nomo little bobblehead, and then I want Tom Nomo.
Okay. Ooh, bobblehead gnomes? Are those things? Bobblehead gnomes.
Probably. If it's not, then you blew that intellectual property.
Jump on there right now. Jump on it.
Yeah. Don't say the great ideas alone.
Bobblehead garden gnomes aside, here's your show lineup, beginning with the most unpopular opinions about BYU sports that all of us have ever had. Yes, we want to hear from you. The most unpopular opinions based on a uniform reveal from an NBA team that didn't go as planned. Which hill are you willing to die on with those opinions? Plus, Hill. A fantastic guest lineup, including Elijah Bryant. How many guys, remind me, Jarom, have won an NBA championship and then the next year gone and won a EuroLeague championship? Yeah.
That we know of.
Two have done that. Elijah Bryant is one of those.
Yeah. Mark DePope said he was the first, found out he was the second. Someone goes, no, so-and-so in 76 or something. He's like, okay, cool, great.
So there's a statistician out there that knows that.
Somebody.
Hey, two people. Elijah Bryant is one of them. And Heather Olmstead, fresh off her work with Team USA, and how she's preparing for a very challenging BYU women's volleyball schedule. Bring on today's BYU Sports Station headlines.
Men's basketball signs Jackson Robinson, former Texas A&M and then Arkansas player. He's 6'6", 185, 3 years of eligibility, former top 100 recruit coming out of high school where he reclassified, skipped his senior year. So he's only 19 still. Wow. Much more on Robinson coming up and what's trending and what's left for BYU men's hoops and recruiting to fill the roster for next season.
Hey, the Lindy's preseason magazine and their rankings just need to get in line, Jarom, because they're the latest to put the Cougars in their top 25, in the top 20 no less, at number 19. BYU's opponents, they have 4 teams on the schedule ranked higher than them in this Lindy's rundown. Notre Dame number 8, Oregon number 11, Baylor number 12, Arkansas number 13. The challenge is on.
Yeah, that's why I think it's harder than last year. Eric Mika is part of the 12-man USA roster for the FIBA World Cup qualifiers coming up in Puerto Rico in early July. In fact, July 4th, part of that. Repping the red, white, and blue.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Mika spent last season in France playing for LNB Pro A, that's the league, and the team was Jail Bourges.
Good for Eric.
Well, I said all that correctly.
And I would love to see Eric in some way sneak into like at least a 10-day contract in the NBA or something, just to see him in an NBA
He did
uniform.
Once with the Kings, did he not?
Did he play, though?
I don't know.
Did he get into a game? Yes, he did.
I thought he did.
He got a 10-day contract, but did he play? I can't remember if he played.
I thought he did.
Yeah. Let's go, Eric. Colin Chandler has NBA aspirations. He is ranked as the 6th best combo guard in the class of 2022, that according to 24/7 Sports. Now, I saw over the weekend, Fox Sports also had Colin Chandler as one of the most...
They just listed 24/7 Sports.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Impactful freshman. He's going on a mission.
So and his mission is to get buckets in 2 years. Eric Mika did play in one game in the 2019-20 season. He played 19 minutes. Yeah. And he had 7 rebounds in the game. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there you go.
Courtney Wayman, Ashton Reiner are the USTF CCA Mountain Region Athletes of the Year after winning the national titles in steeplechase and javelin, respectively. Congratulations. Very easy selections when they win the natty.
Yeah.
It's like, who should win?
Well, okay, let's give it to the national champions. Heather Knighting and Aaron Livingston of BYU women's volleyball left yesterday for USA training camp with the United States national collegiate team. They'll be at the training center in Anaheim, California through Saturday with college players, some of the best in the country. Listen, this is a great opportunity for them to learn and grow. Again, Heather Knighting has done this before. We had her on the show recently. This is another opportunity for her to go out, better her game, and come back and make BYU better.
Absolutely. And Cougars in the minors, Jackson Clough had a hit for the AA Harrisburg Senators of the Nationals organization. And Daniel Schneemann had an RBI for the AA Akron Rubber Duckies with the Guardians.
Yeah, those guys still doing their thing. Would like to see them take the jump to at least AAA.
That'd be awesome.
They've been hanging around for a while. All rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending.
You're talking about it, and so are we. It's What's Trending on BYU Sports Nation.
What's Trending, sponsored by BYU Food to Go, the MVP of your next event. As we just mentioned, BYU men's basketball has announced the signing of Arkansas transfer Jackson Robinson to the 2022-2023 roster. So it feels like that guard section is now coming together for Mark Pope. Jarom, when you saw the signing of Jackson Robinson, what was your reaction to how he will fit in with BYU?
It was exciting because we saw Jackson on a visit last week, and at the time we're told, hey, this kid's good. He played sparingly at Texas A&M in the COVID year, and then Arkansas. So he's got 3 years of eligibility. I'm told he can play 2 through 4. If they go small, he can play the 4. 6'6", 185, can get out and run. Shoots it extremely well. Very confident shooter. Former top 100 guy. Again, graduated early, didn't have a senior year in high school, went to A&M as a 17-year-old. He's now 19 and will be until December. Baller family, mom played college ball. Aunt played in the WNBA as an assistant coach in the WNBA as well. So he didn't play a ton at Arkansas, kind of buried on a team that, remember, went to the Elite Eight and beat Gonzaga. They lost to Duke. That was a very good Arkansas team. He didn't play a ton on that because they were very talented, young guy, again, 18, 19 years old. Great work ethic, I'm told. And I love the idea that BYU can – I'm not saying he's going to become this player. I'm just saying this general idea, okay? That Alex Barcelo was underused at Arizona, a Power 6 school.
Guy who has a lot of eligibility left.
Yep. Comes here and can flourish in a different system. That's the hope. I'm not saying he's the same player or going to do what AB did. Don't confuse that. Just the idea of a Power 6 guy coming over. We saw that with Matt Harms. We saw that with Brandon Averett, right? That they can have these really big impacts. And again, this kid's young. He's 19. He's played in the SEC for 2 years.
Yeah.
Now he's going to come into gyms at Pepperdine and not be bugged. And then when BYU goes to the Big 12, he's been a year in the system. I'm not sure he starts right away. Maybe he does, but it's a very senior group for BYU on the wings. And so I love the injection of Jackson Robinson into the mix here.
Yeah, my initial reaction was, wow, this is a guy that has, some the ability to be here for longer than maybe just one and done, right?
Because 2 years in the Big 12.
Right. Rudy Williams is one and done. This is his final go. And I thought, okay.
We wish we had more one and done. So these are the other kind.
Yeah, when I initially read this, I saw Jackson Robinson. He's been at Texas A&M. He's big in Arkansas. And I was like, oh, man, he's a really good player. But is this going to be like, hey, Rudy Williams, Jackson Robinson, thanks for the 1 year. See you later. No.
Hopefully.
Right?
Jackson Robinson averages 20 a game and he goes to the NBA. That would be the kind of one and done that we want.
Cross that bridge if and when we need to. I am excited about the fact that, or the idea that he could be here longer than just 1 year.
Yep.
Okay, that was the biggest thing that jumped out the page for me.
COVID.
Also, we're talking about guys that these are not prototypical BYU guys. I also like that.
I want all kinds of people.
Yes.
Here.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love the idea of that.
Life, culturally, religiously, all of that.
BYU still needs a big man, but they got the guard thing figured out.
And I'm told BYU has at least one spot left for a big. You can start Foose at the 5 and just play small. Heck, Draymond Green was the center for the Warriors on the NBA championship team. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay, so BYU still has some work to do on the roster, but all good. Topic 2. Utah Jazz released a rebrand over the weekend that was met with great popularity. No, it was criticized quite a bit. There are a few who liked it, but certainly was unpopular with the majority. So, Spence, what's your most unpopular BYU sports opinion?
Well, listen, I'm not ready to go out on the limb and say, hey, like Jason Shepard, like, oh, the Jazz uniforms, we're going to buy the gear. It's going to be okay.
When you love it, you love it.
No. Okay. So I'm not willing to do that, but I am willing to say this. Number one, speaking of uniforms, I have reached the point where we are almost 25 years removed from the bibs. Okay.
It's been that long.
1999.
So old.
Almost 25 years. Okay.
Yeah. Like 98 too, right?
Was it 90? I think it was 99, 98.
Regardless,
it's
so bad,
late 90s. Okay, we're approaching 25 years since BYU wore those unforgettable uniforms. I'm getting to the point where I feel like BYU could have like a one-off where they bring those back for a throwback game.
Oh, one-off, I don't mind. Yeah.
Not forever.
No.
But a one-off. I have said this before, and people are like, no, Spencer, that's the worst take you've ever had. Never bring back the bibs.
And that's
ever.
Saying a lot.
Don't. Bring back the bibs for one game.
Yeah, one game.
If the Pittsburgh Steelers can do their tan pants and their black and yellow and white striped tops in the NFL.
One game.
One game. Yes, bring back the bibs for one game. I love it.
It was so bad, dude.
Yeah.
Rob Morris told us one time that he had a ton of those bibs still, like at his house, just in a box. They're just gathering dust. That's your number one unpopular.
One of them. Okay. Well, that's just because it's tied to uniforms. So that was top of mind. Probably the opinion that I've had that was met with some really strong opposition from former players, former coaches, and certainly fans is that I believe, based on the resume that the 1983 BYU football team put together, they're the best BYU football team ever assembled. What are you talking? They didn't win the national championship, Spencer. They set up the national championship run. This is a team that finished.
Today, BYU was unranked to start 84.
Well, they put BYU in the map. They finished. This is their highest rank to date. Final ranking, number 7.
Would have been 79, but missed a field goal.
I know, but it wasn't, right? This is the highest ranked BYU football team in the postseason rankings to date. Number 7. They go 11-1. They should have beaten Baylor. I know I've talked to Steve Young about it a ton of times, and it's salt in the wound. This is a team that was like a play away from being undefeated in 1983 and maybe, being in that national championship conversation with the guy that finished number 2 in the Heisman voting. So I feel like, and I've talked about this before, Jarom, they beat 2 teams that finished ranked in the top 15. They beat the Rose Bowl champions, UCLA. They beat Air Force. This is and they won both of those games on the road. Not just ranked wins on the road.
Dude, plug the show. We did a whole show arguing
1983.
This exact
That's
fact,
probably my most unpopular opinion, that it's not 84, it's not 96.
Yeah. It's
1983.
Yeah. Okay, a few of mine. Obviously, the schedule stuff was a hill I was standing on. That changed. So that was there's no Power 5 inclusion in mind in the future. If we knew, hey, this is a ramp leading up to, that makes sense.
They were hoping it was a ramp.
Right, they were hoping.
And it turned out to be an actual ramp.
It wasn't BYU's merit that earned it through scheduling tough. It was that Texas and Oklahoma left and the Big 12 needed teams. And BYU was ready. That's the merit-based part of that. But the opportunity was because Texas and Oklahoma left. Thank you, SEC. We thank the SEC. So that one, my opinion has changed because the situation changed. It's not the same. You adjust with new knowledge, okay? If you never adjust with new knowledge, you're never going to adjust. Come on. Why go to church ever then? Yeah. Okay, here's the other one. BYU had to fire Ty Detmer to get Zach Wilson and have 2020 and 2021 and probably 2022. BYU was
Is that unpopular or is that just logic?
Well, I'm talking about would BYU have had 2020 and 21 with Ty at OC? I'm not sure because I don't think they have the QB to do it quite yet. Jaron's hurt. In 2020, he can't play. 21, obviously, it's Jaron's time, but he wasn't thrust into the starting role. Obviously, to get Zach Wilson, Ty Detmer has to be fired because he was going to bring in his nephew, Zadok Dinkelman. Instead, BYU brings in Jeff Grimes. They immediately go after Zach. They get Zach. Obviously, Zach being the highest draft pick in BYU history in 2020 is a very special thing. He wasn't a recruit that Ty valued. We all love Ty Detmer. The Ty Detmer OC of 2017, it was tough, right?
Okay.
And then here's the other one that I don't know is super unpopular, but maybe Jimmer's not the greatest player in BYU men's basketball history. To me, that's clearly Danny Ainge.
Okay.
I know a lot of people. I love Jimmer. Trust me. I was like at his house multiple times that year covering him. Like I was around the sideline report here. I love Jimmer. To me, it goes Danny, then Jimmer. It goes Danny, then Jimmer. And then here's the other one that I've said a few times.
There's an argument that who's the better overall athlete to ever come through BYU?
Well, there's no question.
Danny Ainge, Steve Young, maybe?
Yeah. Like, Jimmer probably had a better individual year, but like Danny's whole career, the clutch shot, the Elite Eight, right? Like BYU beat a 14 and an 11 to go to the Sweet 16. It was great, but like there was no upsets.
Okay.
They didn't thrash UCLA like in the tourney. That was awesome. Okay. Anyway, and then the other one's this: BYU's a volleyball school. BYU's a volleyball school. Shout out to all my volleyball homies. Obviously, it's a football school. I'm mostly in jest, but when I when I made a T-shirt and wore it, got a strong reaction.
Here's one that just popped into my mind. We had this conversation. The greatest home win that BYU basketball has ever experienced was the win they had over number 2 Gonzaga right before COVID hit. Okay, because people are like, no, you weren't there for Jimmermania in San Diego State. Okay, like it
was the triple OT LaSalle game in '79.
There have been some fantastic home wins, but yeah.
I don't know. Beating Pacific like 6 years ago was pretty awesome, Spence.
Our question of the day. Get on your hill, people. Get ready to die on it.
Get on your hill.
What is your most unpopular opinion related to BYU sports? We have some.
There's some bad ones.
Takes coming in.
So bad. Let's go.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's go.
Let's hear from you in Voice of the Nation.
This is the Voice of the Nation on BYU Sports Nation.
At Casey Garner on Instagram says, I love the April Fool's Day jerseys. The yellowish tan and the navy.
That we put out? Yeah.
I thought they looked incredible.
Actually looked pretty good, right? Like shockingly.
Some of them were okay. Yeah. That's mildly hot. That's, it's a whatever. Okay. We did that on purpose, right? To make you think like, this might be real.
Okay, this one. Jonathan Hawkinson on Twitter. Dennis Pitta deserves to be a permanent cast member on BYU Sports Nation due to his unparalleled contributions to BYU and BYU.
Hello,
athletics.
Jarom.
He just barely graduated. Like, come on. No, they're definitely paralleled. Like Gordon Hudson was a 2-time consensus All-American. I mean, come on.
Okay. Steve Preston on Twitter. The tan logos and uniforms were such a vibe and should be brought back for 1 to 2 games per year. Tan needs a second chance.
That's unpopular. The tan needs a second chance. Yep. Yeah. Okay, coming up. One of the weirdest pictures of Cosmo ever.
Plus, back-to-back champion in the NBA and the EuroLeague. One of 2 players to ever do it. Elijah Bryant joins us next. This is BYU Sports Nation.
Dude's racking up the rings, man.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by BYU Food to Go, the MVP of your next event.
I know what it's like to be overlooked, to be doubted, to fly under the radar. I only had one offer coming out of high school, but I was ready for every moment, every opportunity, and every shot that I got. Now I'm playing professional basketball, aiming to be one of the best shooters on the planet. And I'm just getting started. Be ready for your moment with Rapid Reboot, the future of rapid recovery.
This is where we dominate. Our playground, place of business. This is our promised land, where we seek to find ourselves. And we're here to make sure the spaces our best prove themselves on appear how they should. Intermountain Healthcare, official medical provider for BYU Athletics.
It's impossible. We got no show.
If you guys need a singer, I'll sing. I write songs, too. Kind of, sometimes.
I was 11 years old. Life was tough. And I found some songs that gave me hope because I needed it.
You didn't write this song in 10 minutes. It took a lifetime.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
Join us Wednesday, BYU Football Media Day. We've got a 2-hour show that includes Tom Homo, Kalani Sitake, Jaron Hall, many others. 2-hour dish, noon Eastern, coming up on Wednesday, BYU Football Media Day, baby.
We really there?
And it's the last independent version of this, right?
We're there. Then it's Big 12 Media Days.
Big 12. I'm sure we'll create other reasons to flex the BYU TV muscle, right?
Sure.
Throughout the year, of course. But, yeah, kind of the end of an era on Wednesday.
Unbelievable. We are live in Studio B. This is your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. I am Spencer Lint. To my left sits Jarom Jordan, and joining us now over Zoom is one of only 2 men ever to go back-to-back, winning an NBA championship. He did so with the Milwaukee Bucks, and then winning a EuroLeague championship with his Turkish league team. His name is Elijah Bryant. Elijah, Congratulations on an incredible 2-year run.
Thank you so much. Obviously, it takes a little bit of luck, but I'm super grateful.
Okay, let's start with the most recent championship, the EuroLeague. What is that like? Because obviously fans in America, they're tied into the NBA. They see what goes on with the NBA playoffs and all that. How is the EuroLeague run and championship different than your typical lead up to the NBA Finals?
Yeah, I think to kind of explain it to everyone, EuroLeague, every game matters. You know what I mean? Because you don't have that many games in EuroLeague. So every game, every night is a big game, and it counts towards something. And then for us specifically, I mean, we started 0-4 in EuroLeague. And like I said, every game matters. So getting to the playoffs is not always easy. And then once you get there, you know, you have one series. And then if you win that series, you're in the Final Four. And then the Final Four is one game, one semifinal game, one championship game. So it's definitely not easy. It's a lot of pressure. But that's what makes it fun.
And that's awesome because we've got, Brandon Davies over with Barca, and then we had Jim Fredette, in Lithuania a couple years ago. So we're getting more familiar with this process, but it's big time. How would you compare the 2 title runs with the Bucks and then obviously with Anadolu Efes in Turkey?
Yeah, so for me specifically, obviously with Anadolu Efes, I felt like I had more of a role, but it's still same type of pressure, same type of situations, With the NBA was obviously it felt a little bit longer, and the series were a little bit drawn out. Felt like there was more stake at hand, but they're both very similar. I think the Final Four though provides a little bit more pressure because like I have one game, I can't be off this game. Like I can't make mental mistakes, I can't do that. Whereas in the NBA, it's like, okay, we lose 2 games, we'll figure it out, go back home, win our 2 games. So I think the EuroLeague provides, extra pressure in those Final Four situations, but it also allows maybe one team who's not supposed to win wins a game, and all of a sudden they're in the finals, So if they get hot, they could win a championship.
Elijah Bryant is with us on BYU Sports Nation. He is a champion in the NBA and a EuroLeague champion as well with Anadolu Efes. You may have already answered the question. You talked about how your role is expanded playing in Turkey. Which run did you enjoy more? One is certainly more physically taxing. The other is just incredible to be around that Milwaukee Bucks squad and be playing with, Sam Merrill, a guy that was at Utah State.
Sam Merrill's the first guy you bring up. I love that.
Come on. I
love that.
You play with Giannis, too. What was more enjoyable for you?
Obviously, the NBA's always been a dream. I don't think it's really set in on what I've accomplished yet, just because it's been a whirlwind. But the NBA was definitely super special, and they're both unique, right? So the NBA, it happened so fast for me. I was in Israel, and then all of a sudden I'm in the playoffs in the first round in Miami, and before I know it, we won the championship. So I would say NBA was super special to me just because to see these guys hone in on their craft at the highest level and to be able to stay focused during a long season. I saw that recently when we played the Turkish League after winning the Euro League. It's not easy. It turns mental super late in the season, you know? So, I mean, yeah, I would say probably the NBA, the seeing the star players and all that stuff. But with the Euro League, what stuck out to me most is the details, you know, the little things that determine the game, you know, rebounding, that type of stuff. Like I said before, you can't really have too many mental mistakes during these final 4 games. So, yeah.
And let's be honest, a couple years ago, when you left with the year of eligibility from BYU, you stood, or sat in this case, on this set and said, I will play in the NBA. You said that. And then you did it. It was Israel, and you went through that. Your first team all-league there. You go to the Bucks, you win an NBA title, now you're in Turkey. But it's just been an unbelievable run. You mentioned it's been hard to sort of take in at this point. Have you had a moment where that's settled at all of what the last 2 years have been like for you?
I mean, I think maybe yesterday or a few days ago, I forgot about the championship ring, actually. And I got, because I was been so busy, I haven't seen it yet. I got home and they're trying to they're like asking me, oh, you want to see your ring? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I was confused on what they were talking about. And they're like, oh, and I realized, and I was like, I haven't seen the ring yet. So when I saw it, it was just like, wow, this is crazy. Like, it's actually happened. But it's been my career is just getting started. So for all this to happen, it's still like, it seems so surreal. And that's why, like, I was telling someone the other day when I was watching Steph win his 4th, and he started crying. That's exactly how I felt after I won the Euro League, because there was so much pressure on, like, the media's like, you know, you're going to be one of 2 guys to ever do this back-to-back. And being the competitor I am, I want to do it so bad. So the tension and the anxiety and nervousness built up as soon as we won. It just all fell out. So I'm trying to get it all in, but also understand that there's a lot more to do.
Sure. Yeah. But you can smell the roses, right? Which is incredible. So are you saying you hadn't seen your NBA ring because you were in Turkey and it got shipped to your house in the States? Yeah.
So basically when I landed in Turkey and I watched the celebration, like on my iPad, and I was just like, dang. I mean, it was hard, but it's like, you gotta make sacrifice. So yeah, like, I didn't see the ring. My son saw it before I saw it. And then I realized, I mean, I got back home, they were telling me, you know, you want to see your ring? And I was like, what? I mean, my wedding ring? Like, what are you talking about? And then I realized that I hadn't seen the championship ring yet.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Elijah Bryant's on BYU Sports Nation. I'm watching you, and I'm rewinding to your NBA days with the Milwaukee Bucks. You get picked up, you go in, it's late in the regular season, right before the playoffs start. You start knocking down a few shots, 3 goes down, and I'm like, man, Eli belongs. He belongs there. This is fantastic. What was the moment for you where you felt like, yeah, you know what? I do belong as a professional basketball player?
NBA specifically, or just professional basketball?
Just anywhere. Yeah. When did you feel like, okay, I belong here?
Yeah, I mean, my first year out, I've always put a lot of focus on my professionalism, you know, taking care of my body, all this stuff, and seeing players and then seeing how well I was doing in the league as a rookie. I'm like, there's no way I can't have a chance at the NBA. So I guess after the first few games in Israel and understanding, like, basketball's basketball around the world. So playing at that level is all about, you know, your skill, your professionalism, how you take care of your body, that type of stuff. So as soon as I went to Israel and I saw that, I mean, I could handle my own, I knew, like, the sky's the limit for me.
And that summer league game where you put up like 31 or 33 or something, I was like, okay, this is going. We had Mark Pope on recently, and he talked about how he had played for Anadolu Efes as well. And he said on media day when he got there, they gathered in sort of the courtyard of this hotel, and a cow was brought in. Its throat was slit. Blood was applied to his forehead, and it was like this real new cultural / perhaps Islamic experience, right, of being in Turkey. Have you had anything that was unique or different like Mark had in Turkey?
Fortunately enough, I did not have that type of introduction to Turkey. But, I mean, you hear the call to prayer all the time. There's mosque everywhere. Mm-hmm. When I first was going there, when I was with Maccabi Tel Aviv, I was like, I could never play here. Like I don't feel comfortable. But when you live there, you get so used to it. The people there are so generous and so kind and so nice. And you realize that just like, our religion, they're just devout members of their religion, and they're doing as it's supposed to. So you grow to actually respect it and learn from them. Yeah. But definitely when I first got there and I was landing, I'm seeing all the mosque. I'm like, bro, what am I doing? Like, is this really worth it? Like, but once you get to understand the culture and meet the guys, it's normal.
Fantastic insight from Elijah Bryant. We'll finish with a couple of quick hitters before we let you give some publicity to an exciting summer camp you've got set up, Elijah. But what are your immediate playing goals with basketball as you push forward through 2022 and beyond?
Yeah, I think for me, I have one more year on this contract in Turkey, and then after we'll see what is happening with the NBA. But at this point, I was telling somebody else that I've checked that box of playing in the NBA. So now for me to go back to the NBA, it has to make sense. Like, it has to make sense for me as a basketball player. Can I contribute to a team to win? If that's not the case, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? And I'll stay overseas and I'll help a team win. And my goal over there is to get first team all EuroLeague eventually, and continue to progress to become the best basketball player that I can be. And if they don't think that's the NBA, then so be it. But I'm not hung up on the NBA anymore. Before, I was super stressed, super anxious to really check that box. So that's been checked. But again, take it day by day and see where it goes. Because again, it's a basketball game that I'm playing for a living.
There's a lot of great leagues and money to be made in these leagues, which is awesome. Okay, let's finish with this. Tell us about the basketball camp that you're putting on here in a little bit.
Yeah, so it's called the 1 Cent Academy. My motto is the 1 Cent Club. It's about putting a penny in each every single day and see where it gets you. It's August 4th, ages 8 to 18. It'll be 2 hours. But the main focus I want to contribute to this next generation of basketball players is the idea of everything else besides the basketball, the mental, the stretching, the taking care of your body. Because I feel like, I could teach them how to shoot. I can teach them how to do A, B, and C. But what are they going to do when adversity hits? How are they going to handle that? And all these skills that I've learned, per se, from Craig Manning, from all these high-level guys that know how to deal with adversity, has helped me way more than any skills trainer has ever helped me, not just in basketball, but in life. So, for example, my camp last year, we handed out journals and we allowed every person to go around if they wanted to share what they're grateful for. So it kind of puts these kids in a different mindset of gratitude instead of always comparing what they have to others. And obviously that's what the church teaches. But I think if we're able to get in that mentality more than comparing, not just in basketball, but in life, it's going to make a better life for them, but it's also going to make them a better basketball player.
Yeah, what a unique, fresh, and frankly cool outlook and take on a basketball camp. Just to clarify, this is happening August 4th, and where are you doing this, Eli?
Norton Performance Center. It's in Highland, Utah.
Okay, there you go. If you're local to the Highland, Utah area, Norton Performance.
Or fly in. If you want to hang out with Elijah Bryant, let's go.
Yeah, if you want to hang out with one of the two guys to ever win an NBA championship and then a EuroLeague championship back-to-back, this is how you do it.
I'm suddenly 18 years old, so I'll be out there. Yeah, let's go.
Hey, Elijah, congratulations on everything, man. We appreciate the time. Good to reconnect and catch up on your life and basketball.
I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
You got it. Elijah Bryant on BYU Sports Nation.
Elijah Brigham Bryant, by the way.
Yep.
And Craig Manning, longtime BYU mental strength coach, hired by the Bucks and is still with them today. Giannis Antetokounmpo was consulting with Craig Manning when he was here at BYU, which is pretty awesome.
How about that?
Pretty cool, right? Yeah. Okay, coming up, Heather Olmstead joins us fresh off of getting the gold in the Pan American Cup with Team USA.
And which BYU tradition should absolutely be included in the new NCAA football video game set for release in 2023? This is BYU Sports Nation.
Tortillas and popcorn popping, bro.
Utah is a special place. Our communities, the people, the history. There is no place quite like Utah. At Siegfried and Jensen, we're honored to say that we are from Utah. We live here, work here, and when someone is injured, We're proud to say we've helped a neighbor when they've needed it most. We know Utah. At Siegfried and Jensen, we're here for you. Call us today.
Hi, Spencer Linton here, letting you know when your company joins the BYU team as a corporate partner, your brand can be featured in sports programming on BYU TV and BYU Radio. In addition to all of the great games, you can be part of the BYU coaches shows, place your message in Countdown to Kickoff, basketball pre- and post-game shows, and each weekday on BYU Sports Nation. We invite your team to join ours and become a corporate sponsor of BYU Athletics. For details, email sponsorship@byu.edu today.
Turn TV time into together time with the BYU TV app. Watch all your favorite shows when, where, and how you want.
This isn't like a practical joke, is it?
No, sir. Immerse yourself in stories with all the feels. Go on uninterrupted journeys of discovery and see families coming together while watching with your own. See new and original content, all for free on the BYU TV app.
BYU Sports Nation is brought to you by Maersk, enabling global trade for a growing world.
To interact with the show, get some content throughout the day, follow us on our social media platforms, BYU Sports Nation, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
He is Jarom Jordan. I am Spencer Linton. You know what time it is. Let's whip it. The Cougar Whip Around, presented by Maersk, your integrated container logistics company enabling global trade for a growing world.
The world is growing, right? Friend of the program, Matt Brown, reports the new EA Sports NCAA football video game release scheduled for July of next year.
The greatest news since we learned BYU is going to the Big 12.
Pretty good. We also found out EA is asking schools for popular chants from fans and songs played by the bands to be included. So which BYU traditions would you want to be included in the game?
Number one on my list, without hesitation, is the BYU Cougars chant that goes around the entire stadium. So there are 4 sides to LaVell Edwards Stadium.
I think the audience
right. I'm just saying. If you don't, you're not familiar.
They are the BYU fans.
I want the BYU Cougars chant involved in this game somehow. I think that has to be in there.
I would like popcorn popping. I would also like tortillas thrown on the field after touchdown.
Well, if you got the difficulty with popcorn popping is you need to get like some significant rights granted to you to be able to do that.
Can Sister Cat Perry release those? Or those, is that IP of the church?
Yeah. How much of a significant financial need is that to make that happen? Yeah, I'd like to see that happen for sure. And then just make sure Cosmo's heavily involved. Cosmo and the Cougarettes dancing during timeouts and the timeout screen.
Cosmo dances.
Something like that. Yeah. As mentioned earlier, the Utah Jazz released pictures of their rebranded uniforms, and it didn't go well. Their new color schemes being black and yellow.
Black and yellow.
Got us thinking, which new unused color, never before tied to BYU, would you add to BYU's color scheme if you could? Because the Jazz went from purple and gold and green to black and yellow.
Yeah, is black an official color of BYU? If not, I would like it in there.
Okay.
We've had some women's soccer, women's basketball, men's basketball, football unis that have been black. Love the look of it. If I have to go outside that, I'd have to think a little bit harder. Like a neon blue.
Okay, I have a very specific answer for this. Okay? It's a certain shade of gray. It's ice gray. A very light gray, almost shiny gray. I think that would look really nice, whether you choose to go with navy or royal blue as the major color. If you had like light ice gray, almost silvery components to the BYU uniforms, I think that would look super sharp.
Yeah. We'll see if they ever go that direction.
Okay.
ESPN president Jimmy Patero said this morning on Richard Deitch's podcast that the plan is for Texas and Oklahoma to join the SEC in 2025 still. Weird reports of perhaps 2024. Do you want 2 full years of Texas and OU in the Big 12?
Yes, because it gives BYU a greater chance to host both Texas and Oklahoma in LaVell Edwards Stadium. Certainly to play in both if you have those teams in the league for 2 more years. So yeah, I'm in favor of this. Also, I was not understanding why Texas and Oklahoma wanted to leave just 1 year early, because it's like $40 million per year per school.
Ain't no thing to Texas.
So
but it is the thing to Oklahoma.
I mean, $80 million between the two schools just to leave 1 year early? Just wait it out.
That's a Tuesday for Texas. That's nothing. Yeah, I want 2 years of those guys in the league. Absolutely. That'd be great.
Well, who's right? Because we're hearing conflicting reports.
I trust the ESPN president.
Yeah, right?
The horse's mouth, man.
Yes.
They're the one that essentially
No question.
Yeah.
This carries weight, right? Significant weight. Jarom, a drawing was tweeted out combining a BYU and a Tampa Bay Buccaneers logo. Do you like this logo mashup?
I love it. I think this is the unofficial logo of the BYU at South Florida game now, because BYU's playing in Raymond James Stadium, or if it's still called that. Okay. This is awesome, man. Shout out to Brandon Goody, whose daughter did this for Father's Day.
It's fantastic.
Very nice.
Whoa, well designed.
That's awesome.
Well drawn by your daughter,
I think it was written during Sacrament meeting, which is pretty awesome. Tom Hummel tweeted out the following photo on...
No, there's some significant time put into that.
Yes. On National Mascot Day, talking about, meeting his wife, Lori, 42 years ago. It was hard not to focus on how crazy Cosmo looks here. Should this Cosmo make a comeback? Never.
Never. Straight up frightening. The googly-eyed Cosmo should never be a thing. Okay? I said it on the phone this morning. He looks like a character that's going to be joining the modified version of Winnie the Pooh in the new Winnie the Pooh movie, Blood and Honey.
This fall.
No.
Yeah.
No.
This Cosmo is right up there with Vecna in Stranger Things. Let's go.
We love Cosmo.
I don't love that Cosmo.
It's not that specific Cosmo.
That mustache was terrible. That was honor code inappropriate.
Yikes.
Coming up is your unpopular BYU sports opinion. Get the elite voice.
Maybe that's an unpopular opinion for many of you, that we don't like that Cosmo. I don't know. BYU women's volleyball head coach Heather Olmstead will join us as well.
Oh, she got a gold medal.
Yes.
She brought it.
All she does is win. You know this, right? What's the secret? Is she finally going to share it with us? This is BYU Sports Nation.
The gold or the secret?
Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork sells Ford vehicles including the F-150, the pickup designed for work and play. Tim Daly Ford maintains a large inventory, providing more choices for selecting an F-150 with the power and engineering to carry and tow heavy loads. The F-150's design offers comfort, safety, and a range of options to choose from. Think Ford, think Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork.
Don't you just miss the good old days? Back when you thought being an adult would be the greatest thing ever. But then, before you know it, you have car payments, student loans, credit card debt. That doesn't even include the mortgage. That's when my loan officer suggested a debt consolidation refinance. And just like that, I'm debt-free, and I'm on track to pay off my mortgage in just 11 years. Take back control of your adulthood. Hey.
Find out how he did it at intercaplending.com/debt-free.
I thought I was going to see her at work this morning, 8 a.m. It's going to waste my summer.
Come on, B. Ride with us.
No, man, I gotta go take care of that dog. Won't even let me touch him.
I can come over and show you a few tricks.
He screws up one time, just one time. He's going to get put down.
Yo, we got the Air Jordan of dogs here, man.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
Join us for BYU Football Media Day this Wednesday. Not only do we have a 2-hour edition of this program, but State of the Programs at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 2-hour BYUSN. Hey, watch BYU in the streak against Utah again. We've got web chats as well on the BYU TV app for a couple of hours. BYU A History of Independence live show at 4:30 Eastern, and then the top 100 plays.
Yes.
That was before the 21 season, so Tyler Algiers Punch-Out's not in there, whatever. A lot of great plays in that one. That's coming up. It's a loaded day on Wednesday.
That's part of the fun is like the plays that have happened since we did that show.
Yes.
You can decide like, okay, which plays need to be in the list and where would we put those?
I think only Tyler Algiers Punch-Out really made it, honestly.
Just that play.
Yep.
Okay.
Too dominant.
Okay.
It has to be dramatic sometimes, right?
It's an individual play, not a win, because people are like, what about the win over Utah?
No, it's plays.
It's plays. It's individual plays. Joining us now in Studio B as we welcome you back to BYU Sports Nation is the gold medalist and just an ultimate winner, Heather Olmstead, head coach of BYU Women's Volleyball.
What's up?
Welcome back with a new gold medal, no less.
Yeah, let's see it.
My medal.
That's gorgeous.
Pan American Cup champs. Yeah. The coaches get medals in the Pan American Cup. In the Olympics, they do not, right?
That is so cool. Where do you put those? Because like you've won a lot of stuff. Where do you put all of this stuff?
Yeah, they're in my office just behind where the kids and the recruits can see them, and just it's a talking point, USA Volleyball and the opportunities I've had. So I leave them in my office behind me.
Like the shine is so bright. They're like, hold on, I'm distracted. I can't see.
Seriously, you do have like one of the coolest offices. Like the swag in that office is like incredible.
Nice. It's nice. Renovated the last 2 years. It was good. So you came in and told us about what you hoped the experience would be like. What was it like in Louisiana and Mexico?
Yeah, so much more. It was incredible. It was a great experience. The first part was so cool to be around USA Volleyball, be in Louisiana, and to train with our team, to be around Karch and his staff, and to be able to learn from them. We were able to sit in on a scout of their match versus Brazil. We were able to watch 2 matches. I got to watch Alexa Gray.
USA
played Canada. That was probably one of the highlights of my trip, was being able to sit down and chat with Alexa, get to watch her play, and just love that girl so much. And so being around USA Volleyball to start the trip, and then going to Mexico and doing our own thing, it was really neat to be able to go bounce from that experience to Mexico to our team of 12, where we went from 20 players down to 12, and to compete against some of the best teams in South American, and it was cool.
Okay, a couple of initial thoughts. I can't believe it's been 8 years since Alexa Gray was at BYU.
Is she still going strong professionally?
She is.
Oh, that's awesome.
And actually, the VNL USA team is home this week, which Aaron and Heather get a chance to be a part of, which we'll chat about. I think they're off, and they're going to Canada next round. So
that's great.
They won't play Canada again, but Canada's the next week of the VNL for the women's team.
Very
okay.
Nice.
Second thought is, you've done this before. I mean, you've traveled, you've coached at a high level with different staffs and whatnot. What made this one unique and different from the previous experiences, and maybe how did it shift you as a coach?
Yeah, for sure. I keep talking about the difference was we got to be around the senior women's national team. We got to be around Karch. Usually you go do your own thing with the U21 team or a different age group, and you're not really around the senior women's team. So that for sure was an advantage for us to be able to train and be able to witness the senior women's team and see some of the best players, and have our girls on our team look up to those girls and get to chat with them. We met with Sue Enquist, who's their mental strength coach. She's softball coach from UCLA, just amazing. So we got to just meet different people within the USA Volleyball community and program. As far as me, I think just being able to be uncomfortable in different situations and learning more about other countries and how they play the game, and always comes back to serve and pass. And that's the cool
Always
thing.
does.
It always comes back to serve and pass.
One time before a BYU-UCLA men's match, Al Skates, 19 national titles at UCLA, Carl McGowan's #1 enemy. This great rivalry. I would say, hey, what are some of the keys tonight? Serve and pass, serve and pass. And I was like, is there more to it, please? Sometimes there's not. But I like something you really said there. It was being uncomfortable. A lot of times you get to a comfortable place and you don't grow because you're not uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So in what way were you uncomfortable where you were like, oh, this is good?
Yeah, well, number one, I was an assistant coach again. So it's like, rewind it back.
That's different.
Rewind it back. Yep. And that's what you live for. For me, like going back to my roots of being an assistant coach, of being able to support somebody else as the head coach or just the staff in general. I think it's good for me to be put back in those shoes, to be able to have some understanding of what my assistant coach, what my staff goes through. I think that was really good for me to do the grunt work. I was scouting, I was watching film, I was learning this new system that we had to do, like that I scout, but this was a different level of scouting that I had to prepare and present to the head coach. Like, hey, this is what it looks like. This is what I think. What do you think? And then collaborate that way. That made me uncomfortable. but it was really good for me, and I think we did a good job and ultimately brought home the gold.
Did it take a sec to get back in the chair there as an assistant?
By the end of the trip, I still wasn't comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was still.
Once you're head coach, it's nice, right?
And I like that because I did have to try to find different ways to relate to not only the players but the coaches, and then in your relationship with the girls as an assistant coach is different than the head coach. So that was something that took me a little bit of time to get back in the swing of things. But the young women that we coach were so fantastic. They were so open to learning and to leaning into uncomfortable situations. It was pretty cool.
Great stuff. Somewhere Dave Height and Johnny Neely are
They're like,
yes. What we do matters. Okay, Heather, really exciting schedule that you have put together. And we had an opportunity to walk through it with some of your players, but now that you're back, what do you think of the schedule overall, that it's finalized and you got some big-time teams coming into Provo?
Yeah. Were my spoilers worth it?
Yes, they were good. They were really good.
Yeah, we're excited about our schedule we put together. We love the home matches that we get. We're excited. There's so many matches, I don't even know which ones to bring up. But
hey, Pitt sticks out.
Yeah, so the rematch with Pitt is exciting. Dan and I had some nice convos over in Mexico about that match and what it's going to look like. I think it's exciting for the fans. I like personally playing Cincinnati, a future Big 12 opponent.
Yes.
And the fact that they are willing to come here, 1 year before we see them in 23 was huge for us. I love all the in-state games that we get to play, but I can't. Yeah, go ahead.
Utah State.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Your alma mater. Rob Nielsen's getting that program back.
Yeah.
They won the Mountain West regular season title last year. That's a cool game.
It's going to be super fun,
really
good
cool
tournament. Washington State, Georgia Tech, Ohio State. I mean, every match is going to pose a unique challenge. So they're all going to stretch our team. And
for sure.
And we're going to learn a lot about ourselves early, which is great heading into our last season in the West Coast Conference.
And this is probably a tougher schedule than last year. And you crank it up because you want the best seeding and RPI possible.
It's all
probably
relative to our team and those teams. We don't know. The time will tell.
Hopefully they're like last year.
Yeah,
that's how you go off the last couple of years, right? And RPI of the last 5 years.
I think it depends on how our team shows up this fall, ready to go. I know the girls are working hard. We got Heather and Aaron with USA this week.
Great experience.
Which is super cool. And what's cool about that is that USA's home from the Philippines, from VNL, so they'll get a chance to watch the senior team practice. They'll actually be practicing alongside of them in Anaheim.
So they'll have interaction too.
They will.
Yes,
and so I'm looking
cool.
for them to reach out to some of those players and coaches and get uncomfortable and have some conversations and start thinking. If I know Heather's done a lot of USA, if USA's in their future playing pro, those are the things when women can dream about what they want to do after BYU. It's where we benefit the most. What do you want to do? You can play pro. You can play USA volleyball.
Yep.
Let's help you. So they're there this week, and I can't wait to hear how it goes for them.
Okay, let's finish with this.
Yes, we got to get this one in.
Do you have an unpopular BYU sports opinion?
Okay. Well, I think you already brought up that BYU is a volleyball school, and it is really.
It is, yeah.
Men's and women's.
Uh-huh.
But I would say my unpopular opinion is that our wins over Stanford in 18 and 19 are bigger than the Gonzaga win in basketball.
Ooh. Yeah, you took down number
Bigger
one
deal.
Stanford.
7-time national champ
Yes.
Stanford.
Yes.
Whatever you pick, 18 at home or 19 on the road. That's a bigger deal than what basketball.
Beat them back-to-back years.
Both were unbelievable. 18 is a huge deal because it keeps you a top 4 seed probably at the very end. You host and then you go to the Final Four.
So what do you think?
Pretty big deal. It's pretty good.
It got you to the Final Four.
It's definitely unpopular because
Okay.
mainstream men's basketball. Whatever.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
No.
It doesn't need to be popular. In fact, I don't think you actually want it to be popular.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's one of my
hill.
favorite memories. I've called a lot of games, and so
It's
has
a
Jared.
classic.
I have called a lot of different games and matches. That is easily top 3 experience for me
So
all
good.
time.
So
that was
good.
unbelievable.
And you love to end a match on a review.
Hey, as long as it's a win.
As long as it's a win,
The intensity
right?
was
Yeah,
incredible.
exactly.
Heather, great stuff. Thanks for coming in.
me.
Congrats
Thank you,
on the
guys.
gold.
Thank
Awesome. I'm just going to, you take it. Fine. Coming up, what's the most unpopular BYU sports opinion?
And our rise and shout out to the double holiday over the weekend. This is BYU Sports Nation.
Trio Orem Senior Living believes in empowering seniors to live life to the fullest. We help eliminate stress out of daily life when you live at Trio. Less time focusing on housework means you can socialize at one of our many events, with safety in mind, of course. And did we mention our spacious apartments with modern amenities? Learn more about setting up a private tour at trioorum.com.
Professor Rock here.
The Food Nanny.
Chandler Scott here.
Samry. Hey, everyone.
Hello.
I just want to tell you about this amazing,
Excellent. Cool account called My Style.
My Style checking. I'm talking travel points.
Gift card. Concert tickets.
All just for using my account. That's My Style.
So check it out.
Give it a shot. Open your My Style checking account today.
Mark?
Some of my favorite moments are hearing from the family room just a chorus of laughter.
Twas your mother's.
BYU TV has been an escape and a refuge for me. We forgot about random acts. We love that one.
Today we wanted to do something nice for you.
I see that change in him after that show. It just brightened everybody's day.
I can do this. I want to live my life in a way that show showed me.
Follow the ups and downs of elite young gymnasts in an exclusive behind-the-scenes look as they twist, flip, and bounce their way to the podium. See the commitment, effort, and mindset it takes for these competitors to rule their sport on Gym Stars, on BYU TV, or on the free app.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
BYU Sports Nation is on demand. You can download the BYU TV and BYU radio apps today.
All right, our question of the day, what's the most unpopular BYU sports opinion that you have? Let's get to some of these responses. At TX Colonel on Twitter says, John Walsh is the most unappreciated quarterback at BYU.
Mm-hmm.
Beat Notre Dame on the road, 619 yards of BYU record in a single game. Had a 147.6 career pass efficiency rating. Lost
Number
to
6 in
Ohio State.
NCAA history. I didn't know that.
Beat Oklahoma in a bowl game, but he's often never mentioned. It's weird. I think the 94 team is the most underappreciated team in BYU football history.
Ooh, I go 79 on that one, but yeah.
Okay, second response. Tan the Man Merrill on Instagram. I think we need to stop switching back and forth between Navy and Royal and just combine them on the uniforms. Either Navy with Royal and white accents or Royal with Navy and white accents.
You don't have to limit them. You can do both.
Okay. Jackson Payne on Twitter. Chosich greater than Ainge, greater than Jimmer.
At the time, yeah. But God surpassed.
Elite Voice of the Day presented by Sundance Mountain Resort. Andy Noel on Instagram. Would Loki love to see the Kalani combo with Royal helmets, Navy jerseys, and white pants?
Anything is possible.
That's pushing it. Today's Rise and Shout Out presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
Shout out to Tavita Atalifo, who passed away, women's rugby assistant coach. Our thoughts are with the team and his family.
And hope you enjoyed Juneteenth and Father's Day over the weekend. Double holiday. A double holiday. Thanks to today's guests, Elijah Bryant and Heather Olmstead.
Sorry, Dennis.
For Jeremiah Spencer, shout out to Camry Godfrey Willardson. We'll see you tomorrow on BYU Sports Nation. Go Cougs.